if you could be, or if you could hang out with any character from a Quentin Tarantino movie, who would it be?
From anyone or this one?
From anyone.
That's tough. Do you have one in mind? I could probably... We just watched this one. So if we're just going off this one...
I mean, the clock's ticking, man. You got to come up with one. There's so many great ones to choose from.
Yeah.
Like to actually like hang out and have dinner with or something.
Sure.
I would say Samuel L. Jackson's character from Pulp Fiction would be a rad one to hang out with.
Yeah. Yeah.
The stories you would get from that guy, the wit and the humor would not be a dull moment in that diner. Because it'd have to be a diner. You couldn't be like, hey, do you want to go to the Olive Garden?
See, now I was leaning towards John Travolta, actually, in his character.
I think those are my two favorite characters Tarantino has ever created.
I can't say that for sure, but they're up there.
They're pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Hello, sequel fans, and welcome to Sequilibrium's special Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 episode. Because 2's just not good enough. You got to do the one as well. And granted, we always watch the first one before we watch the second one, but this one's going to have a little bit more, I guess, in-depth analysis or feels about it.
How long has it been since you've seen this?
Let's see, it came out in 2003, so like 2004 maybe.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I mean, they're an investment. Watching these movies are an investment. It's not like...
I don't know if I would put it... I mean, yes, in the sense that it's not like you can throw it on and then stop it. You have to watch it in its entirety.
Or just fall asleep during it. And that's not because they're bad, per se. That makes it sound like there's some level of it being bad. I always go back to Reservoir Dogs and the scene where Tim Roth is learning the story to tell Eddie or whatever his name is to get in. And then the scene with Michael Madsen and they're talking about prison and all that fucking shit. And it's just like, is it over yet? Like, I mean, it's an investment. If you want to watch that movie, you gotta. It's like Clockwork Orange. You ever see Clockwork Orange?
No. Yeah.
The church scene in the prison. I mean, that movie is just boom, 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 snore, and then right back up. Right. And so that's how Reservoir Dogs was too. I mean, it started out fucking killer, and then you just kind of lost me when you're going in too deep in these characters' relationships with each other.
So after watching this again after so many years, would you say that this easily takes Reservoir Dogs' place in your mind?
Yeah, Reservoir Dogs is only good because it's like Tarantino's first movie from like 93 or whatever, right?
It's kind of weird that he starred in his first film.
That's true. That's true because he's never really in any of the movies.
Well, Pulp Fiction he was in.
Pulp Fiction, Death Proof. He was the bartender in Death Proof.
I know we're missing at least one other.
Was he in Jackie Brown? I can't remember. I don't
think he was.
But yeah, that's true. Like, I wonder why he wasn't kind of like the cab driver in this or something, or like some random orderly in the hospital.
Yeah.
But talking about movies starting out fucking amazing, Kill Bill starts out fucking amazing.
I love it more every time that I watch it.
I mean, I forgot that, what's that Nancy Sinatra song? Bang Bang. I forgot that this was in this movie. I forgot that was the first time I heard that song, and I just love that song so much. And like, talking about Tarantino movies and how well he uses music in them too. Like, this one was so fucking killer.
Well, start with Reservoir Dogs, that stuck in the middle with you. You can't tell me when you hear that song, you don't think of him getting his ear cut off. No. I mean, Madsen.
Didn't they do like a whole like rockabilly 70s radio station for like the movie, like a promo or something?
That's right.
Yeah, like, again, Pulp Fiction had a killer soundtrack. Amazing soundtrack. RZA did the soundtrack in this movie. He did the score, which was awesome.
Bang bang.
Yeah, the movie. Remember, we recorded an opening a little bit earlier before we watched the movie, because
you're still beating yourself up.
We just
about
finished
it.
the movie, but when we were talking about what Tarantino was going to be doing, like I said, he should do a Batman movie, and then we remembered that he did talk about wanting to do a Star Trek movie, and the movie begins with that Klingon quote that "Revenge is a dish best served cold." That's awesome, and then the reference to Sophie Fatale or whatever, and how she looks like something from Star Trek.
Yep.
So Quentin Tarantino loves Star Trek, and feet is really prevalent in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you when they were doing like the distance shots when they were fighting, do you think that was Lucy Liu and Uma Thurman?
I was thinking that for a few different things. Do you think that was Lucy Liu laying in the snow after she was dead,
beheaded? Right? No, they got I'm trying to think of the right word. Like they got a stunt person,
right? And I mean, let's be honest. For Uma Thurman's huge fight, that was.
Well, I was gonna make a joke.
80% stunt woman.
I was gonna make a joke how they got a headless person who doesn't need a prosthetic or something. And it was like, I'm just so stoned and so full after all that fucking food we ate while we were watching this that I just can't even pay attention. I'm like, I need to undo the top button or take a 10-minute nap. I didn't. So like, I wanted to comment about like, wow, like they put in so much work to learn how to sword fight, and learning Japanese, speaking it so well. But then they showed that distance shot, and I'm like, I'm not gonna give them credit. I don't know if that's fucking them. It's probably stunt doubles.
Well, either way, you should give them credit, because both of them are phenomenal.
Oh no, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not gonna take any form of credit away from them whatsoever. Because they are fucking phenomenal in it.
That scene we watched twice with Lucy Liu trotting across the fucking table,
taking those tiny little steps.
Yeah.
Cutting that dude's fucking head off. It's awesome.
I'm going to say this in English so you know how serious I am.
Yeah, did you think that part, she's just like, she couldn't get the words right in Japanese, and so Tarantino's just like, we're just going to add this line in, do it in English.
He's that type of director that would, and it just turns out great.
I wrote, so like when Vivica Fox and Uma Thurman were having their fight scene in the beginning of the movie, which, fuck yeah. What an amazing fucking opening.
Yeah.
I mean, the post-credit opening, or post-credit opening when it's after the whole bang bang, blah, blah, blah. So fucking cool. The fight in the house when the little daughter shows up, and they're just like, oh, we're just chilling, playing bridge. Someone took the Monopoly board and threw it across the room.
Yeah, give them credit for that, for
Fuck
sure.
Yeah.
Because, my God, that's a lot of choreography to learn and nail.
That's what I mean. Like, that was them. That wasn't a stunt double. Right. That was totally them. But I wrote down the sounds, because the sounds were so perfect. The editing with like the sounds of what they were doing, what they were stepping on, like I mean, the camera didn't pick that up. That's post-production work. And the scene where she's like walking on the cereal, that's just such a minor fucking minuscule detail that was just like, it made that scene.
The way she closed the door too,
like,
when she passed by.
She walked by, and it made me think of the Puppet Master 2 footsteps, and just how fucking like night and day from someone who's just like half-assing their job compared to someone who actually gives a shit about their job.
Right.
I mean, just those things alone make Kill Bill Volume 1 fucking awesome.
There's not one frame that I dislike. I love this entire thing. And I always question it, because I didn't like the second one as much, at least not in my head looking back. This one does not disappoint.
No,
beginning to end.
I think that I know why I don't like part 2 that much, and it could be the Michael Madsen stuff. I don't know. I
Really?
I remember not liking Michael Madsen so much.
Right.
Like,
he doesn't seem like he should be in that.
he doesn't seem like he should be in this movie at all.
Right.
Like, he should have been done with Tarantino movies after Reservoir Dogs. Like, Michael Madsen should stick to those alien straight to DVD movies, you know, and I mean, he does not play well with this take on like samurai revenge movies. Like, he's just like, hey, you gonna bark all day, little doggy? You gonna bite? Like, that's you. You're not in this kind of character, you know, hanging out with all these fucking assassin women with a cowboy hat on. Just like, who the fuck are you? Like, are you the bodyguard? I don't think they need one. So that's kind of what I'm not looking forward to for Volume 2. Yeah. And a little scared on how I'm going to feel about it.
I'm looking forward to it just because I've seen it so few times compared to this one.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, for me, what I know about that movie is if I watched the trailer and that was it. So
steady cam shots in this one.
Yeah.
The slow-mo shots in this one. The animation in this one. The fucking camera work in general. It's top notch. You can't deny Quentin Tarantino when you watch this.
The humor he adds in it too.
Yes.
I mean, it works. It's funny and it works. Like, I want him to know I want him to know. Like, it's just so fucking funny and subtle, and it's like it fits in this movie. It fits perfectly
in that spot.
Yeah.
It's the dialogue. I love it.
Someone who I was thrown off that was in this movie, Vivica Fox. I mean, it's not a surprise. I know she was in this movie, but when I saw it the first time, I'm just like, what is she doing in this movie? Like, this
very funny, bitch.
Yeah, this just does not seem like her type of role.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that she's in it because it's like so fucking rad. Daryl Hannah. Fucking Madison from Splash. What the fuck is she doing in this movie?
Yeah.
And why the fuck is she so cool?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she's the eye patch girl, and I forgot. I think it's the character. There's an old 70s grindhouse starlet. I forgot what her name is. I'm sure someone's gonna thumb down this video and then comment who that person is. But I'm assuming that that's who she's like. Not portraying, but like inspired by. So fucking cool. It doesn't. The second one, she loses her other eye. She pulls the other eye out, right?
Yeah.
All right. It's not like I'm giving
That's
anything away. It's not like fucking warning spoilers on IMDb reviews.
I love that. Her walking into the hospital in that little makeshift nurse's outfit and walking into the room. And
the Red Cross on the eye patch. She even went the length to change her eye patch for the costume. She's like, whoa. No one's going to believe a nurse is not going to wear an eye patch with a Red Cross.
Yeah. We skipped right past Buck, didn't we?
Oh, we don't have to. We can get right into Buck. That fucking piece of shit.
I know.
I love watching him get his head smashed in that door. And the fucking dude from Adam Sandler movies getting his lip bit off. I don't know. How did that kill him, though? Did he just lose blood and die?
I don't remember.
Yeah, she bites his lip, and he's just lying there with his eyes open as if he's playing dead. But it's like, how did that kill you?
Well, he doesn't want you to know that's why he did that little cut, and then all of a sudden she's covered in blood is because she just woke up from a coma. There's not much she can do, so we're led to believe whatever we want to believe at that point because he didn't want to risk people being like, what? That wouldn't have killed him.
do you think Tarantino takes that in consideration? Like when you're naming your kid and you name off all the names that could be made fun of? Like he's writing his script and he's like, is anyone going to question this?
I doubt it.
I mean, they should.
Quentin Tarantino does what Quentin Tarantino wants to do.
I mean, I don't really have a whole lot of questions as if I just watched Army of Darkness and I'm like, how did he get this out of here? How did he do this? Like, I feel like those kind of like those old movies, those puppet masters, they don't answer those questions. They just go with it. Yeah, that's good. And then the fucking puppet needs the brains. Yeah. Don't question why.
Yeah.
But not in Kill Bill.
No.
You know straight up what she's doing. Revenge.
I like that being the first kill at the beginning too. Someone
Vivica
that you just
Fox?
fucking hate. No, Buck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't the first one. Vivica Fox was the first one. And then it went into how she was in the hospital.
That's right.
I didn't like that. I would have liked a whole lot more Vivica Fox backstory, the way Oren got a backstory.
I was trying to do a linear storyline, and I forgot we were doing a Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, right. He's all over the place just as much as we're all over the place, so it's fine. But yeah, like I want Oren backstory for Vivica Fox's character.
I love Fox's character.
I mean, I think that she would have been like the child of Black Panther, and that's how she got her story going. I feel like that would have been so cool to have in this movie. I mean, well, it was an extra 30 minutes onto an already an hour and 50-minute long movie. You know?
Yeah.
I bet that was Harvey Weinstein's fucking call, that fucking fat piece of shit. But as you were saying in the Lost recording that we did earlier, is that like you heard there might be a prequel with her daughter, or a sequel with her daughter,
right?
Because she survived, and I love that idea a whole lot.
Better than the prequel.
Better than the prequel idea of a young bride. Yeah. I like the idea of her being hunted, and it is a continuation
by
of the story.
Fox's daughter.
Yeah, and it could be called like Kill Uma Thurman. Or whatever your character's name is. Yeah. Kill the bride. Kill the bride. I don't know. That'd be fucking dope. But who the fuck are we? Can't get enough information to them to make that movie.
I see it as a pretty good possibility, to be honest.
I think they could go either way and it would still be really awesome. Prequel of The Bride with Uma Thurman's daughter, or a sequel with Vivica Fox's character's daughter hunting Uma Thurman.
Yeah, I only see it not happening if either Quentin Tarantino dies or Uma Thurman dies. Otherwise, I think there's a good chance.
They better fucking stay safe.
10, 15 years.
They need to stay safe and wear face masks and use hand sanitizer. Not eat so many pizza rolls. All right, well, are you ready to watch Volume 2?
I don't know. Are we? We haven't. I don't know. Have we touched on this film enough?
I think I've touched pretty much on it.
You?
Yeah. I'm ready for Volume 2.
All right.
All right, we're going to watch Volume 2, and then we'll be right back.
Bye.
Well, that's it. That's over with. Volume 2. Completely different movie.
It's not a bad movie, okay. But whereas with the first one, I could go back and probably watch it right now after seeing it just a few hours ago.
Yeah.
This one, I'm good for a few years. I don't need to revisit this for a while.
No, I mean, this is a 2-hour, 15-minute long movie that could have been like an hour and 40 if Quentin Tarantino didn't put his Quentin Tarantino flair in there.
Yeah.
Like the minute and a half long scene of waiting to find out if she's pregnant or not.
Yeah, that's probably it, too. There's probably 15, 20 minutes that could have been cut out of this movie that would have made it as good, if not close to the first.
Let me tell you what could have happened. The whole Michael Madsen scene, we can keep that. That can happen, right? The beginning when he's talking with Bill.
Yeah.
And then when he turns around and gets into his trailer, the trailer blows up.
Well,
we don't need to see him get berated by his boss at the strip club.
I think we can skip past the whole scene with him and Bill. I think we can go past the strip club scene. Really, his best interaction was with Hannah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I mean, that scene was... I mean... To get to that scene, you had to have all that other bullshit, which sucks, which really sucks. You had to have Bud taking Beatrix, which that was awesome, her name. Like, I forgot what it was. And I was like, is it Beatrice? And then it came out to be Beatrix. But, like, you know, trapping her, burying her alive, the whole Pai Mei scene explains how she got out. But it's like you take us on this long fucking journey where it really only needs to be 5 minutes long. Yeah. Like this whole like long explanation, the story Bill is telling Beatrix about killing all those Shaolin monks because he felt disrespected. And like none of that was necessary at all. Like we got that from his interaction with Uma Thurman.
Yeah, exactly.
But, I mean, to not say it's not a great movie, because it's still really good, but it's just something completely different from what Volume 1 was. Mm-hmm. Completely different. Mm-hmm. You only got one of those scenes, which that was all over the place in volume 1.
Yeah.
Well, at least a few times, because that is what samurai movies were like, you know, like I don't know what that, you know, but you know, everybody knows it. I think this one's more like a kung fu movie.
It's not as good, I can tell you that.
No, not as good as like a classic kung fu movie.
No, not as good as the first.
Oh no, God, no. And I mean, I would never even put it at a top tier compared to like volume 1. I mean, volume 1 and volume 2, as far as the spectrum of best Tarantino films are wide apart. I wouldn't even call them one movie, even though they put them together.
See, in this one, I think we can almost break it down to our favorite parts, where the first one is just like,
oh, we're all over the place. And
you
like,
know, because I would give the first one a 9 without hesitation, and this one I'm going as low as a 6, maybe a 7.
See, my thoughts was on a 7 because it still was great. The story was great. Yeah. It was just extremely long-winded, unnecessary dialogue, but that's Tarantino's thing.
Well, I mean, he might have unnecessary dialogue in everything he does, but it just wasn't enjoyable either.
No,
you know?
No. It's like I said about Michael Madsen in Reservoir Dogs. Not enjoyable. Tim Roth, not enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, outside of that, when he's interacting with Harvey Keitel or anybody else, was awesome. But that whole scene was so boring. And like, yeah, this scene was just, I mean, this movie was like, had those scenes where it's just like, I'd rather fall asleep.
Yeah.
I mean, even the long drawn out shit. I mean, because Bill's very poetic when he describes things. Very long descriptions, setting the scene as if we were blind and he was describing it to us. And the scene with him and BB and like, he shot you, or you shot mommy, and blah blah blah. Like that was cool. That was necessary. But like some of the other stuff.
That kid, there's something about that little girl where it almost feels like like she didn't know the cameras were there. It was that believable. Like for whatever reason, just her mannerisms and the way she was pausing between her lines,
fidgeting with the food.
You know, it's really how a fucking 4 or 5 year old girl would act.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know from personal experience.
Let me tell you.
But yeah, as far as favorite scenes, I would say Elle and Beatrix fighting in the trailer was fucking awesome. The way she steals her other eye, and she's like flailing around in the bathroom. I'll fucking kill you. Well,
see, that was the awesome part. The fight scene itself was like meh, and that's the thing about this movie. It's like all the fight scenes are really subdued because you have fucking Madsen's character who can't defend himself and ends up getting him by the snake, right? And then you got Bill who gets the fucking 5-finger
death punch,
death drop. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely no comparison there as far as kill scenes.
Which the 5-finger death punch. We talked about the steps. It takes 5 steps to die. Your heart explodes. What constitutes as a step? Because he moved a lot. His lower half moved a lot.
Right.
So it's like, do you have to like be walking?
It's literal, okay? Literal.
Do
5
pivots count?
steps.
Like, I don't. Oh yeah. What were you saying before that?
Oh, I was saying how it would have been great if that wouldn't have killed him, if he just would have gotten to that 6th one and been like, hey!
I guess he touched the wrong style.
You're gonna have to do something else, it looks like. Maybe stab me in the heart with that sword.
Yeah, I was hoping for a big, like, samurai fight scene on the beach.
That's the thing about it. It's like, oh, yeah, okay, cool.
We're chair fighting.
He taught you this, and now you're doing that, and now we kill Bill. But... and you want a fucking climactic ending.
I mean, all that work for that.
Yeah. I mean, in a way, though, you're able to look at the first film and go, okay, that there's so much here that's epic that what do we really need?
They had a small gag reel at the end.
I just noticed that.
But that's very true. What more do you need?
Yeah. Could you get more epic than the biggest fight scenes of the first one?
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, if you did it in this one, then people are going to be like, well, you're just remaking your first one.
Could you get more beautiful as far as filmmaking in general than
as beautiful as her feet? Because it was all over this fucking movie.
Really, that's the one thing that irritated me about this one was like the things I loved about the first one felt like parody in this one, even when he was doing it. Even when he was doing those same things with the camera or this or that, it felt like parody rather than like a true artist crafting his form.
I didn't like the fact that there was really not that much of a soundtrack to this one.
Yeah.
Like there was no like fun bopping music. There was. I think it might have been in the first one. Let me refer back to my notes. When they were fighting, this is. I don't know why I thought it was in this one, even though it was in the first one. When she's fighting and she's like breakdance fighting with two swords in that whole crazy 88 scene. How well do you know The Office?
Not as well as most people.
They're playing this song from The Office that they like go through the whole entire office and everyone's playing a different scene, and it's that nobody
Right.
that song. Yeah, so she's fucking killing people to the one of the songs from The Office, and I just thought that was awesome. But there was nothing for that, nothing to that in this. You know, there was no, like you said, no big fight scene. There was like that small one in the trailer, the chair fight scene with Bill. I mean, it was 2 hours and 15 minutes long. What else was in there in between? I don't really remember.
Right.
There was going to see that guy who was like supposedly Bill's father.
See, and fuck all that too. I really
like. What was the purpose of that? I mean, I guess the purpose of that was to eventually tell us the story about him going to the movie theater and having a thing for blondes.
Yeah,
that was it.
And do we need that?
No,
we know he's got a thing for blondes.
I know, and feet.
2 blondes in the film that he's.
Yeah, and that's what I immediately thought. That her and Elle, and then where does Vivica Fox come into play? Like, why did he choose her if he has the thing for blondes? Bud's his brother, so his brother's got to come along with him on everything he does. So what did Vivica Fox do to impress Bill? I'm telling you, they fucking dropped the ball on her character. Like, it was so fucking great, and they just killed her off in the first 15 minutes of the movie. In the first one.
Yeah.
No, there was this one is. I'm not gonna say it's shit. It's great. It's awesome. But after watching the first one, I don't know who could go out and buy the full 1 and 2 that are in one set and just sit here and watch for 4 hours and 15 minutes.
I mean, I don't know if that's exactly what it is, though, right? Or they just.
Well, it's on. According to IMDb, it was 2011 release.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was
like Tarantino's stamp of approval.
Yeah, I think it was.
So maybe it's edited
release.
Differently. Maybe it's not just them pressing them together. Maybe it's literally.
So, like someone when they did Godfather 1 and 2, and they they took the scenes from Godfather 2 of Robert De Niro in Italy,
sprinkled them,
and moved it to the first one because it's young Don Corleone, and then working its way to Michael being moved to Italy. Yeah, that would be so weird. That's not Tarantino's style, you know. His is like that Simpsons episode where they were like, you know, making fun of how it's like the beginning is the end and then it works its way, you know. That would not be a Tarantino movie if it were like, okay, we're gonna redo this but move chapter 3 to chapter 1. Which, I mean, I would be okay if they just simply re-edited this one into it but made it a 3-hour long movie and cut out a lot of that stupid nonsense.
For sure. Yeah, that'd be great.
I had a Terminator vibe to it too when they were driving off, like at the end of the first Terminator, and she's in Mexico. I kind of had that feel with this too. Yeah. I don't know. I'm glad we watched it. For sure. I'm glad I finally, you know, remembered why I didn't watch it again in comparison to why I watched the first one a few times.
Yeah, originally we were going to do Back to the Future, and then we changed it to Kill Bill.
1, 2, and 3.
I feel like that was a good decision.
A much better decision. I mean, I don't think I could have handled like 6.5 hours. You know, maybe if we watched it backwards, 3, 2, 1... and got the fucking shitty one out of the way and then worked our way to the best one.
It's not just having to endure 6 hours. It's the next day when all that keeps popping in your mind is, gotta get back in time.
Gotta get back in time. Yeah, nothing's going to resonate with this movie. It's just going to... actually, no.
Oh, yeah,
no.
The whistling. The whistling in the first one, that tends to stick in my mind for a few weeks after watching it.
What was the song that woman's cell phone ringtone was that triggered Beatrix in the bathroom? Is it that New Year's Eve song? All saints be forgotten.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. What is this? What is the reason for that song? Like, why would that be so like that's her thing?
So
I want to know, like, what? Yeah, what was Tarantino's like vision on that? Like, there's going to be a hidden message in here someday, and hopefully a podcast discovers it. And I want to know.
And hopefully, it's a podcast about movie sequels.
And what is Kill Bill Volume 3 going to be like for reals after this one? It's going to be her daughter having to protect her from Vivica Fox's daughter.
Yeah.
And they're going to be on the run from a new death squad or whatever they were called.
Yeah, I mean, this is 2004, so you got to think 16, 17 plus. So the girl would be like
25,
24.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
that would be fucking rad. That'd be so cool. I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
It's in IMDb.
Let's do it. Come on, Quentin.
Come on, Quentin.
Put it out. So really, I'm trying to think. I mean, I know I liked more about this movie than the nothing we've pointed out at this point.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I've already really talked about the things that I liked about it.
It's crazy. I know. There's more.
Captain Spaulding's the
Beyond that
bartender.
fight.
Captain Spaulding's the bartender. You know what would have been rad is if it wasn't in El Paso, it was in Mexico, and they went to the Titty Twister, and then it crossed those universes. And then eventually Beatrix becomes a vampire hunter.
That would be cool. Yeah.
It's a Rodriguez Tarantino joint. Combine them two together. That would be really fucking cool.
That could have been the post-credit scene at the end of this one. It's just rolling in front of that.
I mean,
bar.
I should do like a mock-up script and send it to him and be like, what do you think about this idea?
I think you should.
Or a comic book. That'd be so fucking cool. In another universe. I mean, Bill loves comic books. He went on a whole fucking rant about alter egos and all this other fucking shit. It's like just
Superman and the big giant S and this and that.
I mean, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Like, you don't. Your voice isn't Morgan Freeman. I don't fucking care. If Morgan Freeman was doing that speech, I'd be like, really?
Yeah.
It's David Carradine. You're a white guy playing fucking what was his name in Kung Fu? You're playing an Asian dude.
Yeah.
Like, already, yeah.
Yeah, see, I liked him better in the first movie, and we didn't even see him.
I mean, he was just a voice. He was just a disembodied voice. And it was awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the stupid lines that he said were great as a disembodied voice, you know, but him being there when he's like, he shots at like fucking tray full of veggies. And he's like, or fruit. And he's like, I'm just kidding. Oh, you're just kidding?
In this one, he basically did the same thing that Fox's character did in the first one. She's like, my baby girl, and holds up that photo.
Yeah.
It's like every second he had on screen, he's like, I saved your child.
BB.
You're
BB
still
this.
here.
Yeah.
You didn't die.
Yeah. Oops.
Don't kill me.
I'm sorry. Oops. She's alive. I swear. She's alive.
Yeah, that's a cool fatherly move to like have your kid there when you think someone's coming in to fucking kill you.
Duh, it's a way to protect yourself.
Let's play.
I'm a selfish piece of shit. Where did Bill get his money to fucking send these people off to kill people as well? Like, I want to know the start of Kill Bill.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
The start of Kill Bill LLC. Like, where the fuck did that come from? Like, did you just one day decide that you're going to be this person?
Yeah.
I mean, would be a great prequel in a Quentin Tarantino style where it's like, you know, young Bill meets young Beatrice. I mean, again, a prequel would be rad.
So this is a fun idea.
What's that?
Since this is Sequilibrium,
What's that?
and we happen to be doing Kill Bill, Obviously, Quentin Tarantino doesn't consider Volume 2 a sequel, nor would I expect him to.
Mm.
But if you could choose one Quentin Tarantino movie to get a sequel, since there are none, which one would it be?
I'm going to say Pulp Fiction. Not continuation with the story, but continuation with John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson's character.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't get shot. He finally has this like revelation that there might be a higher being. What is his life afterwards? Does he work at a car wash? Did he open up his own restaurant called like Badass Motherfuckers or something? And then John Travolta, like, what did he get clean? Did he go to rehab? And then somehow these two have to end up together because Marcellus Wallace is the guy that played him, Ving Rhames, right?
I don't know. I don't know his name.
But I can't remember if he's dead or not, or if that's Michael Clark Duncan. But like, you could have Mia Wallace come back and like, I don't know. Out of all the Tarantino movies, that's the only one I could think of that could have a sequel with ease.
A one-up, yeah.
What's that?
I say Reservoir Dogs sequel with a cameo by Travolta and Jackson.
Okay, there you go. They're all dead though.
It could even be a prequel, I guess.
A prequel to how Mr. Blonde ended up in jail for Joe, and that's the reason for all the story.
Yep.
And we find out like their relationship. So it's like a prequel. So basically all of Tarantino movies can only be prequels.
Yeah.
Because I mean they've already established a solid story that can't continue.
Right.
So let's go backwards.
Yeah.
I could do that. Do you know what the IMDb rating for Volume 2 is?
The IMDb rating? I'm
Yeah.
going to go with an 8.5.
It's a simple 8.
Yeah.
Just a basic 8. There's a ton of 1 stars. And it's almost like the 1 stars are like people who don't get Tarantino's filmmaking style with the long dialogue and all that. It's like, you got to go in knowing that there's going to be nod off moments.
Yeah.
But I found this one from 2004, May 4th, 2004. And Star Wars Day. It's called Second Part of This Film, because that's what it is. This story began interesting, becoming a journey without return. The ending, completely weighted, not at all unusual. As he began, he did not wind up his ending. It was boring. Silly, and we all were expecting already the Bill's famous death. I really don't know what they see this film. To no one of both. Too much fantasy. Who was she? The Wonder Woman or Steel Woman? That nobody was able to do something like a wound or something. That's the review. So her invulnerability really pissed them off, or the fact that she was extremely vulnerable. I mean, what happened when she fucking opened the door to Bud's trailer? She gets fucking rock salt shot right into the chest, knocked her out,
buried alive.
Yeah. So I love people with their 1-star reviews where it's like, take the time to think about it. It's like, this isn't a drunk text you're sending your ex-girlfriend. Like, really think about it before you put it on the internet. 1 out of 10. This is from 2021. This is from May 5th, 2021. 17 years later, not from the same person. Their name, Digital Beach Bum. And it's called, He's Dead, Jim. But the guy's name's Bill. I don't get it. We'll find out.
I guess we will.
There are plenty of visually pleasing scenes, but the movie is lacking in anything interesting in the dialogue. I found this seriously overrated. So many people jumping on the bandwagon, but only because Tarantino is a fad. The only decent movie he did was Pulp Fiction. So he's never watched any of the other ones?
Apparently, yeah.
How about True Romance, pal? You ever seen that movie?
He just wrote that.
He just wrote it, but still, like, I mean, for your first, that was his first movie, right? That he's written.
I think so, yeah. And then Natural Born Killers, and then he got.
He did Natural Born Killers?
Yeah, he wrote that. He doesn't like the movie, but he wrote the screenplay.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I mean, I fuck, Oliver Stone killed that movie. It was awesome.
Yeah.
All right, we got to see what a high praise is. This is a long one, but the title's called "I Feel So Cheated." Of what? What did you feel cheated of?
Bill died.
Okay, this one's called 2020. This one's called "Bitch, You Don't Have a Future." Was that a line from the movie?
I don't think so. Yeah, it was.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, who said it though? I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, she said it to Hannah.
Yeah. When they were fighting in the trailer.
Yeah.
I've only seen this once before, and I didn't remember it being that good. So I was nicely surprised when I enjoyed it almost as much as Volume 1. The fantastic choices made for the first film would have been difficult to recreate. So
this is a 10?
This is an 8.
Oh, an 8.
Or 7. So I can understand why it was So I can understand why it was a more understated film. But that is why it's just not quite so good. The fight scene with Lucy Liu's bodyguards was brilliant in that film, but wouldn't have fitted in the second part. Again, another thing that like you've brought up that someone else has felt the same way about too. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing it's really lacking, I think. It was an interesting ending, which I'd forgotten, and like the fact that it was dragged out. I didn't. I didn't at all. It's not just because I'm tired and a belly full of pizza rolls.
Yeah, I would have been happy with him dropping and then the credits.
Roll. Yeah, like
not like fucking the kid comes out. She walks out with the kid. All of a sudden they're in this fucking motel room. The kid's watching cartoons.
She's laughing uncontrollably on the floor.
Yeah. What the fuck ever. Come on.
The whole thing moved with pace and kept you interested, as did the first. I did have to look away during the Texas burial scene because it freaked me out, and it's a shame that Michael Madsen has started to look like the PE teacher from Glee.
I disagree with the pace, though. It definitely was not as good.
No.
Nowhere near as good. As a matter of fact, that's why my ratings are so far apart, is the pacing. Even more than the running time.
Yeah, I put the Volume 1 at a 7 or an 8.5, maybe even a 9.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I'd always thought he was sexy before, but I thought Daryl was superb. Daryl Hannah was superb, and I loved the martial arts training section with Pai Mei, Tarantino's second best film.
Yeah, the whole Pai Mei stuff was great. You know, I like that.
It really
was. The fight scene with Hannah.
I mean, not just because he like flicked his chin beard constantly, like I love the sound effects on that shit. Here's one more because we do 2 and 2.
You're going to eat like a stupid Caucasian bitch.
Yeah.
What did he say?
Jap fatheads.
Like a dog.
Yeah, you're going to live on the floor.
Yeah.
Only complaint is that it was 20 minutes too long. This is from August this year.
Agreed.
Pros. I like the style of filming, the storyline and script. However, the script occasionally drags. It's structured really well. The incorporation of martial arts is brilliant. The main character is an amazing actress, and supporting casts are great too. Yeah. Who's that fucking main actress? I don't know who she is. Who are all these supporting people? Cons. Excessive talking to the point where characters were actually rambling. I think they should have cut some out and kept the movie under 2 hours. Overall, great movie. They should make it a trilogy.
Yeah, it kind of feels like Quentin Tarantino spent 10 years developing Volume 1 and crafting exactly what he wanted to do with the camera.
Yep.
And just executing it perfectly.
Then
he was fucking
rushed to do Volume 2
in a few months to come up with the rest.
They're only a year apart.
Yeah, that's kind of strange.
Volume 1 was 2003.
I mean, obviously you would think he was probably shooting some of it at the same time. I don't know.
I mean, in a year, Uma Thurman looked completely different in the beginning of this one from the end of Volume 1.
Did you think?
I thought so. I thought she looked a little bit older.
Huh.
I do love how this started out though with the recap. I thought, I thought it was
See,
pretty
I
funny.
thought there was almost too much of that shit.
I mean, it was long, but the fact that they had a recap really made me feel like I was watching like an old TV show,
right?
You know, and it's like previously on Kill Bill,
yeah,
and it's all black and white and stuff. I mean, there are a lot of fun cinematography to this movie. You know, her in the black and white. It's black and white inside the coffin. Yeah, that was awesome. That was cool.
Yeah. Threw me off talking about the coffin.
Oh, sorry. Did you have something in mind?
I did have something.
And they took it from you?
You took it. You took it away. Took it away. Yeah, I don't know.
What should we do next?
Look Who's Talking too.
Okay, I'm down. I love Look Who's Talking, and we'll do Look Who's Talking too. Do you remember who's in Look Who's Talking too?
John Travolta.
Uh-huh.
No, I don't remember who else.
Damon Wayans does a voice for a little kid.
Oh, no shit.
Gilbert Gottfried. Mel Brooks.
Oh, nice.
Roseanne Barr. Or just Roseanne.
All
whichever she
voices?
wants. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And
Roseanne, is she the other
She's the
main
daughter.
baby?
She's the daughter, yeah. And Casey Jones. The actor who played Casey Jones plays Kirstie Alley's brother. Love sequels, man. I've watched tons of them. I can't wait to watch that one with you. Just a couple of dudes laying around watching Look Who's Talking Too. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all.
Do you have anything else you want to say about Kill Bill Volume 2 before we pass on? Pass on?
I don't think so. What do you think?
I think it was great, but I don't think I'm going to watch it again for a long time.
Not Kill Bill Volume 2, no.
Now, if Kill Bill,
I mean, seriously, I could watch it right now again and be okay. I'd be content with watching it again. It's that good.
I mean, if you're like you were like, oh man, you know, let's hang out, watch Kill Bill, and then you're like, you want him to leave, but you don't know how to say leave, so you're like, well, I'll put on Kill Bill Volume 2, and then you're like, I'll just fall asleep, and then they'll leave.
Right.
That's the next time I watch Kill Bill Volume 2.
There's just so much about the first one. There's something to appreciate in every single fucking scene.
Yeah,
about the first one.
For real.
Whether it's the editing or the camera work or the fucking audio or whatever it might be, there's something to appreciate about every single fucking aspect of the movie. This doesn't have that, but it's still good. I'd still recommend it, especially if especially if you've seen the first part.
For sure.
Why the fuck not?
Yeah. Like, how do you watch the first one and then someone being like, "Oh, have you seen Volume 2?" Expecting the answer to be yes, and they go no.
Yeah.
What happens? How does Bill die?
Right.
What happens?
Yeah. Did you look up the not the budget, but the box office totals?
I can.
You should. I'm curious if his the little cliffhanger, you know, at the end of the first, if that helped him out with box office results.
Volume 2, $30 million was the budget. Opening weekend was 25.6. Gross was 66.2. Worldwide was 154.118.
Okay.
So it made $154 million. It's not bad.
Not bad. That was Volume 2?
It's a nice chunk of change. Yeah, it was Volume 2.
Okay.
And then Volume 1 was $30 million budget. Opening weekend was $22 million. Gross was $70 million. Worldwide, guess how much worldwide was?
220 million.
Oh, that's thinking high. No, 180.
See, these sound really low to me for Tarantino.
I mean, this was like the early 2000s. I mean, all he had was Pulp Fiction fame. Like, what was his next movie after this?
Probably would have been The Hateful Eight.
Tarantino?
Yeah.
2004?
The first film after Kill Bill?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, man.
Dude, there's Inglourious Bastards in the middle of there.
Is that in the middle?
Yeah. Let's see. Writer. Kill Bill Volume 2. The next one was an episode of CSI, Crime Scene Investigation.
You're kidding.
No.
He was the director for an episode?
Story by. He wrote a story for CSI.
Okay. That makes more sense.
His next one was Grindhouse, or Death Proof. And then Inglourious Bastards. And then Django. And then Hateful Eight.
Oh, really? Django was before Hateful Eight.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yep. All right, look who's talking to after this one. All right, I guess we could do that. We can.
Why you seem so much less excited now?
No, I'm pretty excited. No, man, John Travolta pretending to be Elvis.
Squealed like a little girl when I first said it. Now you're trying to cover it up with like, yeah, I guess. Look who's talking to. If we have to.
I guess I won't quote that movie while we're watching it.
Hey, could we watch it without the subtitles on, please?
I don't understand why you don't like subtitles. I love watching
it wasn't bad on here. It wasn't bad. But sometimes it'll point out the shit that I'm already like appreciating in my own head. I'm like, like the first one, cereal crunching. I'm like, yeah, motherfucker. Yeah. I know. I hear the cereal crunching. You don't have to tell me.
I saw the sweat of that sound editor.
Yeah.
Get low to get that sound. All right. Look who's talking to cleanse the palate after all this.
Are you pressing the button? Are we ending the show?
We are ending the show.
Okay. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.